1. All right, we should be live, everybody. Let me wait for it to update here. There we go. And we're live from the command center with special guest Shannon, the odious soul.
Yes.
The fireworks everywhere. Oh,
all right. So, Thursday night, coffee with K-Pro and Cow and Shannon.
Yes.
So where you been, Shannon? I know everybody's gonna be wondering why you're making videos and what's going on.
I've been working after the wedding, just a lot of work. I put out 2 videos. I know I've been so slacking. There's been a lot of family events. Right now I'm traveling to Las Vegas, obviously, for work though. So just trying to get through life. I think once fall hits, everything will slow down a little bit and I'll be able to push out more videos. So
I was going to say, you're still working on it, and you'll still do more videos.
Oh, my God, yes.
Okay,
yes. There's a lot of stuff. I just haven't had time to actually put it out there, so.
Yeah, well, life gets in the way, doesn't it?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
for sure.
And you have to take time to actually enjoy life, too. You know, like, I work at home now, so there's literally weeks where I don't leave my house, which is scary.
Oh,
you know?
okay.
So I forget that there's an outside. I forget that there's trees.
Right. You need a boots on the ground. That's
I
what
do.
You need.
I really need one really bad, actually, yes. But we're coming close to that time where we shouldn't be going boots on the ground.
I was going to say, are you going to get out this year, or are you done for this year?
Next year for sure, yes.
Well,
this year I can't afford it.
You may not have heard of Boots on the Ground or Bust, but me and K-Pro are going to send a lucky searcher on Boots on the Ground. So we'll have details on that later on.
Yes,
but,
let me know.
How you doing, K-Pro?
I'm fantastic because Shannon's here. So my favorite tuber when I think it was Sean that did the Academy Awards of tubing. It was like Shannon, let's all vote for Shannon. So I'm so delighted. But
God,
I do have to say, we're not in the same room again. I don't know if Shannon and I exist at the same time because I literally missed her by 12 hours and I haven't met her. And now I'm so jealous because Mike has in person, in the flesh. Awesome.
I just need to come down to North Carolina and harass you and just, attack you. Yeah.
Yes. We can meet somewhere in between, or I can come up there, wherever. We're East Coasters. So, anyway.
All right. So what are we talking about for tonight's show? We got to bring Shannon up to speed, probably, would be my guess.
Yes. Okay. So, maybe 2 weeks ago, this guy that's a PhD put out a book, and everybody was talking about it, and they were all just, people were doing reviews on it, buying it, which basically, I believe, says that he had figured out where it was and it's just missing. And I thought, if there's that much publicity over a book that talks about something that I don't think is factual, why don't we actually hit a hard-hitting book, which is Cynthia Meacham's book. Ooh, there's my green screen. Cynthia Meacham's book, which I've had for some time, which I knew had some things in it that some of the new people might not know. And so we decided to dig into it last week, which was a week ago from now. It was one of our most popular shows because we put to bed exactly what WWWH was, and it confirmed it forevermore. No,
do you have Cynthia's book?
I do not have
Cynthia's and I don't have it either, so K-Pro's the only one with it. So she's been reading quotes, and then we've been discussing.
So she has the magic ticket, basically. The golden ticket.
Well, the golden ticket's, though, available for everybody. Go to Cynthia's website, though. Some people have said to me, I bought it from Amazon. For some reason, she doesn't get any of those proceeds. So go to her publisher.
And I'll show the website.
I don't know why she doesn't get it. But anyway, so we just decided that we were going to go over the major things. And the major things for me were things that she has said. Well, the reason I got this idea was because Cynthia and Dale were on the Encore, one of the shows, and somebody sent it to me and said, they just said about the lawyer and this and that. Sean had said at the time, well, you guys are 2 reputable sources. If you say it, it's pretty much fact. And I thought, what searchers out there, when they say something, it's pretty much fact? Well, Cynthia's one. Cynthia said some things in this book that made me go, So we decided to go over those. And after about an hour and a half or an hour and 45 minutes, we decided we're going to cut it off because I think I was literally getting on a plane. I don't remember. But we decided to do the rest of the book tonight, which we have some interesting quotes from Cynthia about her conversations with Forrest. So that's where we decided to start. And then maybe each of us will weigh in on, is that Cynthia is that Forrest pulling Cynthia's leg? Is that Cynthia pulling our leg?
It's all
or
open
is
to
this
interpretation.
factual now? And now we know, and we're one step closer to the treasure chest. So.
But that's how we figured out what warm waters are, we think, anyway. Some people agree, some people disagree. But Forrest has made the comment to 3 different searchers, did you feel the water? Was it warm? Did you dip your toe in it? So I'm thinking hot spring. What else keeps water warm in the Rocky Mountains but some kind of geothermal feature? So
I'm definitely there. Definitely there.
But there's a lot of people that don't agree with that, which is kind of interesting to see after the
Well, and that's okay. Some people need to come in second place.
Yeah, oh, nice. All right, so, and I guess we'll go over all the other stuff we got going on at the end, right? You want to jump right into the book? Let me show our website real quick. Let me do this. Yeah. Bam.
So we'll go over this for maybe 30, 45 minutes, and then we have the marathon coming up. The marathon's exploded a little bit, but we do have some potential spots. Some people had asked about, they heard we're giving away coins, what's going on, and so I want to go over that to make sure everybody knows. I did post it on Thor, the Facebook pages, etc., but I don't want anybody later, because we just had somebody say, there was a Las Vegas meetup, why didn't I know about it? So we're going to repeat early and often.
You got to watch the videos, that's why.
Videos and Thor and Facebook, and I thought, if you don't know that, you're a treasure hunter. It might be right in front of your eyes, and you don't know it.
So this is Cynthia's website, chasingfennstreasure.com. If you come right down here on the right, this is the link where she will actually get some of the money when she sells the book. So it's bookbaby.com. This is actually where you want to go if you want to buy her book. The book's been out for, I think, 2 or 3 years now. Does that sound right, K-Pro?
Yeah, there's not a one in here, but when when I sent Cynthia a note, she's boots on the ground, and so she couldn't come on. But she's like, "So you're promoting my book 2 years later?"
Yeah,
I have never, you know.
That's right.
I was like, I have had it a year, but still, hey, better late than never, and it's fantastic. So we're gonna dig in. And January 17th says we're going to come in last. Okay, where's the treasure chest? Come on, guys. We're all in last place. So anyway, okay. So here is the quote that I would like to dig into tonight, because there has been many questions of, Forrest has pretty much said, and he's put it out publicly, the treasure chest location is not associated with a man-made structure. Can the 3 of us agree on that?
Yes.
Yes, he said the chest is not associated, right? I don't know if you can say location, but the treasure chest itself is not associated with the man. Yeah, it's the same as location.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can mince words, but we know what we mean. So Cynthia had taken some information from a couple different sources, put it together, and she is doing some deductive reasoning. So this isn't Forrest saying it, but she is deducing that none of the 9 clues are associated with a man-made structure.
Da, da, da. Well, so let me walk people's
through
home of Brown, I think. People think Brown log cabin, Molly Brown house. There's all these different things. Val, can you give us the quotes on how she came up with that?
Yeah.
Because that's kind of huge if it's true. Yeah,
so she goes through in the second chapter, she goes through one of her search solves, which is in Valles Caldera National Preserve. So, and she has lots of pictures, and it's awesome.
All right.
So at the end of that, she puts a postscript at the end of most of the chapters. And here is I'm just going to read it's about 2 paragraphs. Not long after this, I met Forrest at Collected Works bookstore in Santa Fe, and once again, I enthusiastically relayed this search story to him. When I discussed the CCC cabin as being my home of Brown, he immediately said, "Don't you remember I said it can't be associated with any structure?" Unquote. Does that mean none of the clues are associated with the structure? Later, I talked to a local woman who used an Indian ruin as her home of Brown. She confirmed he also reminded her of the same statement. Quote, "The hidden treasure is not associated with any structure." Unquote. Period. In my opinion, IMO, he is saying none of the 9 clues can be associated with any structure.
So if I heard you right, they were talking about the home of Brown. And Forrest said, but remember, the treasure chest isn't associated with a structure.
Well, there's 2 different quotes. Okay. Don't you remember I said it can't be associated with any structure? And then the other quote is, quote, "The hidden treasure is not associated with any structure," unquote.
So she's kind of stretching that out to mean all 9 clues instead of just...
She uses using deductive reasoning or logic.
Because they were discussing the home of Brown, right?
In both cases, it was the home of Brown.
And he brought up the treasure chest.
I mean, I always try not to use a structure. I really, really do, just because I feel like it's a nature journey, not like, not a city journey, for example. But I mean, I let myself be flexible enough to consider a structure just in case, but I try not to, because he has made comments about dams before, and outhouses. So I mean, I guess. Okay, so she's quoting Forrest saying it to her and to somebody else. I mean, that's pretty big there.
Well, the other possibility, I mean, it might be remote, but what if where the treasure chest is actually hidden is that close to the home of Brown, to where he's saying it can't be a structure, and that would mean what Cynthia is saying is correct, because you don't walk that far. I mean, a lot of people think it's circular, where when you put in below the home of Brown, everything's in the same area, the same general area.
I know what you're saying. I think that's further of a stretch than her just saying. If he's saying, remember, I already told you guys, it's not associated with the structure. If you're talking about home of Brown, now what would have been better is if it was like no place for the meek or the blaze or something.
Clue, yeah.
That would have been better if you could triangulate that better. But this one was 2 homes of Brown and then the treasure chest location. So is that a Gypsy's kid says hello. They're in the room. To Shannon. Didn't say hi to us, but Shannon.
Thumbs up with Shannon in the house at the command center at an undisclosed location in Las Vegas. Shannon's sworn to secrecy on where it is.
So is that enough? Is that enough to say I will rule it out forever?
I don't know. I would still keep it in my back pocket just for options.
Yeah.
I think that's where I'm at with a lot of things. It's just, I will look for nature. I will look for things like that first, but if something lines up really well, I might just stick it in my back pocket and just be flexible enough just in case.
Do you think that about WWWH? Would you ever not have it related to water?
I cannot find anything else that works with it besides water. I mean, honestly,
right. After what he said,
I've never thought of anything besides water. I mean, ever, nothing. He says waters. What else could be waters besides water? I don't know.
Well, so Mike and I had this debate, and I actually brought you up last week because can you get in the water? Is it warm? That's the quote out of Cynthia's book. And so Mike said, well, other than a hot spring, what's warm? And I'm like, a bathtub could be. And he's like, a bathtub? I'm like, there was this great video done where it went I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying let's outside of the box thinking. And so I referenced your video. And he's like, a bathtub? No, it has to be. And I'm like, no. I'm just saying there could be something else. I can't figure out what else is warm water that would be where I think it's out in the wilderness. But I gave an example, and I referenced your video from like a year ago where you quoted every bathtub that's referenced.
Well, and I was actually connecting a lot of bathtubs that were actually in nature though. But still, I can't help that my mind keeps going back to indoor plumbing. I can't help that. I don't want it to be that. Nothing ever lines up, but I keep thinking where could warm water's hot? At the end of a water supply line? I don't know. But
right.
But I definitely think it is related to water, regardless.
Now, I did say where warm water's hot is not associated with the dam, so that would be interesting if none of the 9 clues are associated with any man-made structure. It's interesting. I don't know.
It's not as hard hitting. It's not as, to me, it's not as concrete. I kind of believe it, and I'm going to try to stay away. Exactly what Shannon said. I'm trying to stay away from it, but it's not enough that I would say I'll never, if I have WWWH, which is a great spring and then a canyon, and then the Homer Brown happens to be a cabin and everything else fits, I wouldn't rule out the whole solve.
Right. And Copper Dan just pointed out, K-Bro, you got glasses.
I did. You know how you guys have noticed when I do this?
Right.
And stop squinting.
Now you can
I'm
see.
Official. I'm official. I'm officially an old person. My daughter picked him out, though, and she says, you're still cool, Mom. I'm like, okay. So there you have it. I have glasses now. And they're the progressive, so I was all messed up. I see a whole different world now.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, just remember, leave them one for 2 weeks straight. You'll adapt much better. Sorry, I'm an eyeglass person. I've been an optician forever, and I'm still in the optical trade, so.
But you don't wear
contacts in, but I couldn't read my cell phone if it was right here, though, with the contacts in.
Right.
I'm old,
well, once I put these on, I'm like, I'm not going, and both reading and just walking through life, I'm good. They will be on forever, so. Okay, so
I was just going to say the no structure for all 9 clues. it kind of falls in line with the theory I've always held, and that's that the 9 clues are 9 geographic waypoints. When you start at where warm waters halt, and they will lead you to the chest, and it's as simple as going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in order. And I can see you're out there in the wilderness, you're out there in the Rocky Mountains. I can see it not being a structure, personally.
Yes, and I'm going to apologize to you by the end of the night because you've always said something about the blaze and where the treasure chest is, and I think we're going to put that baby to bed in a minute if we're done with this conversation. And I hate to say you're right, but I'm going to say I'm now leaning towards you being right.
Yeah, are there any questions as far as the 9 clues for K-Pro or Shannon? That's right, NC Diggums. He didn't say anything about the clues, but Cynthia's saying... See, that's the interesting thing about Cynthia's book. She's been to Forrest Fenn's home, and she's put in the book things that she has heard him say. So while it's not an official quote from Forrest for everybody, it's something he said to searchers, and I think it's important to know what those things are.
Well, it's like last week when we talked about dip your toe in it. I never put out dip your toe in it, but someone did. And then Scott Conway put out dip your toe in it, and he actually had an email from Forrest. And then it's in Cynthia's book. So when you start hearing it 2 and 3 times by different searchers, you kind of go, maybe there's something to it. Maybe you should be able to tip your toe in it if he's saying it to that many people. But
yeah,
hey.
I agree. I definitely agree.
So there you have it. Okay, so let's go to another quote. That's the wrong page. I actually earmarked the pages this time. Okay, so this is about the blaze.
I'll get it.
You can't. Oh, this is where I'm going to tell him he's right. So let's hurry and get past that.
Yeah, hurry and say it while he's not listening.
You can't go out looking for the blaze and expect to find the treasure chest. There's 10 billion blazes out there. So you have to start with the first clue and let it take you to the blaze. If you can find the blaze, the treasure chest is there. So does that say, so Mike believes that in the poem it's look quickly down, your quest will cease. If you've been wise and found the blaze, look quickly down, your quest will cease. He believes right at the blaze, you look down, it's right there. By this quote, if you can find the blaze, the treasure chest is there. Why do we have more stanzas after that then? Because we're not supposed to ignore any nouns.
It's a poem. It tidies it up, you know. And it also gives you the legality to, like, you can present it to a judge if you have to prove that it's yours and that, you know. I mean, that's why we have extra stanzas. It's a poem. He didn't just write like a list of clues. He wrote a poem. He had to make it pretty, you know. So that's why we have extra stanzas. I mean, I definitely believe the blaze, look quickly down, your quest to cease is the last part of that you need to know to actually find the treasure. No doubt. Like that's what I believe. And I believe the rest of the poem is just for legality's sake, you know. I mean, seriously. But I mean,
so Mike, did you hear? You're right. Did you hear?
What was the actual quote? I heard part of it.
Okay, let me give you the quote because it validates you might be right. You can't go out looking for the blaze and expect to find the treasure chest. There are 10 billion blazes out there. So you have to start with the first clue and let it take you to the blaze. ... If you can find the blaze, the treasure chest is there.
Right. That's what the poem says, right? Simplify. If you've been wise and found the blaze, look quickly down. Boom, you're done.
Right.
But there's another one. Let me look it up. There's another one. Okay, check it out. Here's a question. How far is the chest located from the blaze? This is from terryscant.com. And Forrest's answer is, I did not take the measurement, but logic tells me that if you don't know where the blaze is, it really doesn't matter. But if you can find the blaze, though, the answer to your question will be obvious. Does that help? If I find the blaze, how far the chest is obvious means it's right there, in my opinion. Because he's saying it's obvious.
But he's saying there's a billion of them, but it's obvious.
If we find the right one, it's obvious.
Oh, I'm sorry, 10
if you
billion.
find the blaze, the correct one that's the poem references,
so
then it's obvious.
Then you got to figure out, like, what is there like a billion of? And I mean, could it be a mark on the tree? I mean, that's something that's highly debatable too, because trees fall down, trees die, trees grow.
Yeah, will withstand the test of time.
Yeah, I mean, so it's like, so what are there a billion of that can stand the test of time?
Yeah,
well, any marker,
Mike's right.
Anything that could be considered a marker is a blaze, right?
Here's another quote. What is a blaze? Quote, anything that stands out.
Well, I mean,
anything that stands out, right.
I stand out. Does that make me a blaze? I mean...
Yes, it could be. But there's not 10 billion of you. There's only one special you. So there's only one Blaze. Like, I thought Blaze was Tough Cliff for a long time, because Tough Cliff is the only exposed Holocene in Yellowstone, and Holocene is a geographical blah blah blah. No, there's a billion of them.
Well, the other thing, if we're talking about Blaze, if you've been wise and found the Blaze, it almost seems like we should know what the Blaze is before we go out looking for it. Wouldn't that be something? If we're from the thrill of the chase, we're supposed to figure out what it is. Now we just have to find out where it is.
See, now I don't believe that. I feel like if you're smart enough, if you're wise enough to have made it that far to go through all the clues, then you would come across the Blaze. I don't believe that you need to know what the Blaze is before you go out. No.
And then here's another one. Which direction does the Blaze face? North, south, east, or west? I didn't take a radial off the Blaze. I'm thinking it may not be any of those directions. If we have a marker of some kind, how can it not face north, south, east, or west?
Do you know how much time I spent learning what a radial was
take a radial
to aviation guidelines? Like, I spent like hours and hours and hours of my life learning about aviation and radials and all that stuff. And let me tell you, it did not help at all.
No, not at all.
Well, but here's the thing. That we talked a little bit about this before. There are things that he says just off the cuff that is specialized knowledge in my mind. Like you just said, radial probably meant nothing to him. He just said radial, and that was it. And to me, I have to look up, like, reading a map. I know he thinks it's elementary. It's not for old people that are starting to figure out how to read a map for the first time. So I just think it's amazing.
And see me, I've been obsessed with maps since I was a kid. My grandfather had an atlas, and I just love staring at it. But, but I mean, for a radial, it depends on which direction you're heading in. So, like, a radial, like, if you're taking off from one airport and you're going to another airport, they don't use north, south, east, and west. They use radials from one point to the other. So it's like, to me, that's just like a crazy way to even reference, what the Blaze could be and which direction it's facing. It's like...
Well, he said he doesn't think it faces north, south, east, west. So to me, if there's something on a canyon wall like this, that's a direction. So what if it's actually facing up in the air, meaning it's flat? It doesn't face any direction this way, and the chest is under it somehow. I mean, possibly. Of course, without knowing
I'm sure Billy asked a question. Is it true Forrest said someone sent him a picture of the Blaze? I don't think they said that. They said they sent him a picture of where they... No, because they did get past the first two clues, so that's not... The Blaze is not the second clue.
The 200-footer sent him a picture of where they've been, and that's how he knows they've been within 200 feet, right? Is that what you remember?
I'm trying to remember the exact quote, because, I definitely thought that there was a picture of the Blaze out there for some reason.
Blaze?
And I'm trying...
Yeah, I don't remember that.
And I'm trying to remember why, because I remember going back and trying to find pictures and associating it with places.
Really?
Ooh, somebody go and try to look it up, because that would be interesting, because if he said nobody's gotten past, like, the fourth clue ever, but somebody sent him a picture of the Blaze...
And it might have just been something off of one of the forums. It might have been just something that got misconstrued or something said. But, I believe I came across something someplace that might have made you believe that was the case.
Right.
Not necessarily a quote from Forrest.
Somebody could have sent him a picture of what the Blaze is, but there could be many of those Blazes. And we have to be in the right area to find the correct one.
Touché.
Maybe.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe.
Possibly.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
I hate the maybes because you're never going to know until we're in the right spot. But
maybe. Okay. There's last ones, and then the rest is going to be quotes that Cynthia thought were important that we already know, but Cynthia put in her book that are important. So I'm so ignoring the room tonight. Hello, world famous gamer, everybody. Hello, everybody. But we are so in the midst of all of this. So Diggin' Gypsy, if you guys don't know Diggin' Gypsy, I'm sorry about that. She's been around forever. She searches with her and her sisters. There was a fundraiser for one of her sisters who lost her home. She's I won't say a Forrest favorite, but she conversed with Forrest. She calls him the old coot. We all laugh about that. In this book, her entire solve is based around the page 99, the kind of the famous 99.
Yeah.
Isn't there like a scrapbook about her too? Wasn't there a scrapbook about her?
We can't see that with your green screen.
I know. I'm gonna have to turn it off.
Yeah, you can turn it off.
When she quit the chase last year, he was like, "Please don't." And she did anyway, but he was disappointed. I think the only searcher, when they stepped down, he was like, please reconsider. So this is what her entire solve's based on. No, not that one. Hold on, 99, this one.
Right, yeah. how it kind of goes in and out, though? Yeah.
And so Cynthia actually says in here, I'm not going to go over every single part of this because it's already on another blog, and she references the blog and all that. But she does say something that I thought was interesting. She said, in Diggins' story, she says, quote, Forrest said he melded the memories of his experience in Vietnam with his favorite spot, unquote. Now, this is now not third hand. This is fourth hand information.
Say it again.
But still,
somebody heard him say this, right?
The Diggin' Gypsy says that Forrest told her, quote, Forrest said he melded the memories of his experience in Vietnam with his favorite spot.
And that's why a lot of people think it has to do with the waterfall, right?
I mean, it would make sense with water high.
And then William's saying there was a scrapbook about Diggin' Gypsy, and Forrest put an omega in it. That's what William's saying anyway. I'm not sure what scrapbook is. Tom Sawyer says there was a scrapbook about her, and FF signed it with double omegas. So, you never know.
Kromicky says that I'm his favorite searcher, or her favorite searcher. Thank you.
Yeah, and she's quoting Shakespeare where she says, to believe or not to believe? That is the question. I don't know. So, okay, that is the last, unique information that she has provided. But the one thing that she did was, this is, married with lots and lots of quotes that she thought was important and why. So I already brought this up last time. She talks about how everybody thinks the scrapbook's associated with them or a set of words or something. She talks about taking a flask, and she would always down her flask right before she went in, and one of the scrapbooks is related to a flask right after she had seen Forrest because she was so nervous in meeting Forrest. I thought that was funny. But there were many people who were within 200 feet. We've had such a huge discussion this last year about the 200-footer, and the 200-footer came out years ago. Do you guys find that interesting at all?
I'm kind of going back to the whole merging and now my brain is thinking about the whole merging his favorite spot with what happened in Vietnam.
Right.
Go back. So was it just Diggin' Gypsy that said that, or were there several people who said that?
Just Diggin' Gypsy.
See, and I hate to say this, but I have seen an email that because Diggin' Gypsy had something about something else, and I won't go into what that was, but she sent somebody the email from Forrest that proved what she thought, and it was like where did she pull that from? Why did she believe that? So I don't know. I'm gonna challenge anything that really comes from her, because unless I see the email,
it could be out of context.
It could be, and I actually just had this conversation with my mother. A lot of times conversations, they have different contexts that we don't actually hear, or somebody will just focus on one sentence or one phrase where there was a bigger story to tell. So I mean, and I would just say, from what I've seen from Diggin' Gypsy and some of the email threads and stuff, I would question it a little bit. I would want to see proof.
Right.
See it.
Well, I just like the idea, the Warm Waters Halt one. Cynthia had it, I had it, Scott had it. None of us knew each other. One of them's in writing, one of them's on audio, and one of them's in a book now. So there's three different searchers that didn't know each other, three different ways. I love that cool. one. That one's a lot of confidence.
Awesome. Yeah.
There's evidence at a whole different level. You're right. The one, this is third-hand information coming from, we don't know the context. What was the rest of it? I don't know. I do like the idea, though. The only thing that's archived in the Library of Congress of Forrest is his discussions of Vietnam. Why would he say, put your memoir in the Library of Congress, when his own memoir, at the time he said that, was not in the Library of Congress? So I've always thought, and he reminisces about, when I was in Vietnam, I daydreamed, or I dreamed about my first arrowhead and my time in Yellowstone, and I was thinking, is he pointing at, is this a way he's pointing at? So I like what she's saying. I don't know exactly if it's the case. So okay, we'll keep going here. You guys watch the room as I'm trying to see. See, Dirk is saying my audio is through the roof.
We couldn't
Cool.
hear her
Might be.
earlier.
You never know.
We couldn't hear her earlier.
Yeah, they
I
had
can
me
always-
turn it up.
If I
I'm
sit
sorry.
closer, can you hear me better?
Yeah, because it might be this.
Yeah, it might be that thing.
It might
so.
be better.
Okay. Okay. What about the Chase chat or something or other page that Sean showed in his last show where FF said that Stephanie had been within 200 feet? Was that ever debunked? Yeah, and there's also a quote when she asked, like, who's been closer, Dale or I? And like he said, I can't tell her because she'd rip up the countryside. Like, that's actually on video.
I don't think it was ever proved that Forrest was referring to Stephanie, right? He said something about a female searcher, but people think it's Stephanie, but has that ever been proved somehow?
I don't know. I thought the quote was different. I don't think I've ever heard that one about the countryside part. I thought it was like, you know, like if I told her
She
that,
would
like they faint or something.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So.
And I didn't see Sean's show, so I'm not sure what he's referring to.
Yeah, I didn't see Sean's show either, but okay, here's my opinion. I think back in a time that the search community was very small when he said that. I don't think he realized every single one of his words were going to be recorded, were going to be analyzed. I think he zung and threw out some things like Diggin' Gypsy this last year. Not Diggin' Gypsy. Jamie Jordan said during February, who's the closest?
Oh, yeah.
And he pointed to her and said, I think you are, or I think that tells you all, or something. I think especially, and I don't know her, so I'm not going to say, I just know what I've heard. It seemed that Stephanie was really on every word, and she got a lot of validation when she was the closest, but she also had been hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of places all through every single state and even outside the search states from what I understand. So I personally don't believe it was her. I think it was Forrest. Maybe that's what he did. I heard he did the same thing with Dale. I heard he did the same thing with that. I mean, it's unfortunate because some took it so seriously that it kind of corrupted their entire life. But so do I think she's the 200 footer? I do not personally.
So, okay, bro, move the mic away a little bit from your mouth is what people are asking.
Okay.
Maybe not that far. Not that far.
Not that far. Like
there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Now people are saying there were two different videos or two different interviews, and one Forrest Fenn said if she knew who she was, she would faint, and the other one he said if she knew she would tear up the countryside, meaning go back to every place she's ever been before.
I think that's right. I think that. And
now,
that
could that be Stephanie? Maybe, but we don't know for sure. I mean, there's never been a verification that that's who.
And she has been a lot of places. She didn't really just settle in one place. She went to a lot of places. So
she's been all over.
I mean, it's quite possible she did get close to it, but could she tell where she was and figure out where that was?
I think that's why he said it, because it would never help her, help anybody really.
Yeah, probably.
And then I think after he made the comment, didn't she delete a bunch of her stuff that she had posted? All the locations. I think she took it all down. She had a blog or something of her own, something like that. So, yeah. But now I think she's out. I don't think she searches anymore.
Well, and in my opinion, this is just what was said to me, so it might be different. Mm-hmm. It was not a woman. It was a man. So that was the 200 footer. Now, he was with a woman, but that wasn't. So
well, no, I think the 200 footer is different than when he made the comment about Stephanie or whoever the female was. Those are two different things. Because think about it, if we're at the Collected Works bookstore or the Moby Dickens, whatever the name of that place was, and somebody says, Forrest, who's been the closest? He's looking at the audience. I think he meant who's been the closest out of the people I'm looking at, right? And he says if I told her she'd faint, then Stephanie was there, and that's why a lot of people think. I don't think he's talking about the 200-foot searcher from years ago, before that. Just my opinion, but.
Yeah, and some people believe it's Stephanie. Some people say no, and they know who it is. Some people think it's them. I mean,
I know it's all open to interpretation. I mean,
I think that's the fun of the marketing of this is everybody, because the poem's so simple. We're all like, we're right there. It's
the poem's so simple, and yet the hardest thing ever in the entire world.
Well, you know what? I just sat down with my son and I asked him, do you want to come on a show eventually and go over, like we started going over the poem, which we have done 100 times. And he's like, ooh, if I'm on the show, I have to be really smart. So let's think about this. And he started with like, as I've gone alone in there. Alone could be alone in his thoughts. That could be alone right before maybe he was just getting married and that it was his wife and he was just, and he starts going through all these and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so much to interpretation, but it's so awesome to hear like him start to go. And I just let him go. He was just first line. It was a good 5 minutes. You know, Mike, he can talk. So he was just rambling away. And I was like, yeah, this could be really
It would be
cool.
interesting to see what he thought of where World Wonders Hall.
I'm jealous. I try to get my daughter to go over the poem. I'm like, you need to look into the Forrest Fenn thing. I'm like, you're so smart. Like, you could bring something new to it. Like, come on, please. Like, let's collaborate on a show together. And she just looks at me and rolls her eyes and walks away. So I'm jealous. I'm jealous. I'm a jealous mom.
Well, my daughter is exactly like that. My son, though, yeah. Okay.
Anything else from the book?
Yeah, there's plenty.
Okay.
So we already talked about the and the word a, and several people did videos this week on that. We talked about that last week, so I think that's been exhausted. Can you get in the water? We already talked about. So let's see some quotes, some favorite quotes that have lasted through the years, because again, this is 2-3 years old. The treasure is out there waiting for the person who can make all the lines cross in the right spot.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it?
That one bothers me because it's like the architect. There's another one that's like that. He was like an architect when he made the poem, and I didn't write the poem. It was written by an architect, and each word is deliberate.
Right.
Okay, and then let's marry that to you can't ignore any of the nouns in my poem. Well, yeah, you can't. You're picking it up right after cease. The whole rest of the nouns for the rest of it.
Maybe they help with the 9 clues, the other 3 stanzas. If all 9 clues are contained in stanza 2, 3, and 4, maybe the other ones help somehow.
I'm actually right with what Shannon said. I actually think that's the legal disclaimer of how you legally. I mean, it's true. He uses the word trove. I think it's the legal.
Well, and I mean, he does put like brave, cold, wood, like at the end there. I mean, and those could help you with the clues and the location.
Right.
But I don't think they're necessarily pointing to specific places. I think they're just kind of overall descriptors helping you. But yeah, I definitely think it's a legal thing. But Forrest Fenn and his poem can be so frustrating. You know that? It's frustrating. So frustrating.
Somebody said let's talk about the 10th clue. So does Cynthia have anything about the parking lot? The 2 parking lots in her book?
Would that have come out before? No.
It may have come out after the book. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
She says there isn't a human trail in very close proximity to where I hid it. If there's not, how are within a mile? What does very close proximity mean?
So Walking Among Lions says, did you see Illinois Ghost said Scrapbook 205 and Forrest Gets Mail 24 both were published at 8:41 p.m. But that's Dale doing that, right?
Yeah.
Dale publishes it.
Yeah.
And that's probably because that's when Dale sits down to publish things. So I wouldn't read too much into it. It's just like a lot of people thought the picture, the one Forrest Gets Mail, there was a picture of Wisconsin or whatever the picture was. Everybody thought that was something on Reddit. It's like Dale put that picture up. He said he put the picture up. So.
Yes, Rick Plank, I'm going to probably get there because there is a quote about exactly what you're saying, I believe. So I'm trying to get through them all. You guys are all referencing other quotes. I'm going as fast as I can. I'm sorry.
Remember, everybody, Super Chat's really the best way to get your question answered. Just putting that out there because they scroll by so fast, we're not going to get to everything.
So Forrest wrote, I have no desire to be buried in a box. It is too dark and cold for me and too lasting. I would rather go into the silent mountains on a warm, sunny day, sit under a tree where the air is fresh and the smell of nature is around, and let my body slowly decay in the soil. So, Shannon, do you believe that means you don't need to dig? It's not buried. Some believe that means it's not buried.
Well, okay, so I think that he probably did not bury it like in the dirt, like he didn't use a shovel to bury it. Do I think it's probably hidden or concealed by him? Yes, I believe probably in some way, whether it's a pile of rocks or just some branches and whatever. But I guarantee you, after being out there for 9+ years in nature, it's totally covered. Like, it's not going to be just sitting.
Leaves,
unless
debris.
unless it's like one of those like Indiana Jones kind of things where he found like a rock to like place it on top of.
Right.
I mean, come on. Like I've stepped on some kind of like moose or deer skeleton that was under so much grass and leaves that like I heard the crunch and I was like, "What's that?" And I'm like, So yeah, I mean, nature has a way of consuming things.
So I got an email from Mark Wells, and it's kind of interesting. Mark's the one who sent us the cow pie liquor in the mail, remember? I should have busted that out.
Oh, man.
He says when Forrest talks about a radial, he's talking about 360 degrees of a circle, which would kind of make sense because he's a pilot. 360 is north, 270 is east, 180 is south, 90 is west. So if the blaze is not any of those degrees, he's saying it's not those directions. So maybe it's northwest or northeast. So he's taking it that Forrest meant degree-wise, it doesn't face north, south, west, east. But it could face a direction other than that exact heading on a compass.
Well, some people think it's north.
North straight up?
Like straight up, not north.
Right.
Straight up.
But that's interesting. I mean, Forrest was a pilot. He definitely knows about degrees. And so I think it kind of makes sense. It doesn't help us find the blaze at all, but yeah, I think it's an interesting answer to how he answered the question.
I definitely think like if you find the blaze, you will know it's the blaze. Like that, I do believe. I do believe that if you see it, you will know it. You know.
So you can find. So we already know you can find WWWH and the canyon and walk right past it. But he's saying once you get to the blaze, that baby is put to bed. You're within probably 12. Well, he said within 12 feet you'd be able to see it. So it's really you can mess up somewhere between 3 and 8.
Well,
right?
He said if you find the blaze, it'll be obvious how far away the treasure chest is. So to me, that means it's right there. I know there's a lot of people that have emailed me in UK Pro, and they're like, I know I have the right blaze. There's just more to it than that. You know, I can't find the treasure chest, but I know I'm in the right area.
He said no. He just said no.
Right, and that's what I'm saying is that's
no,
incorrect
no,
in my opinion.
No. I definitely think the challenge is too far to walk and Homa Brown. Those, I think, are the hardest two. What's too far, but too far to walk? That's the hardest. And to me, I always go back to the book, Too Far to Walk. I mean, I really think that plays a lot into it. But the problem is do you take that into the middle of nowhere and start walking, or do you just keep going down the road? And then Homa Brown, Homa Brown, I think, is the most frustrating clue to me, because the B is capitalized. And if it's not associated with a structure, then it can't really necessarily be associated with a person, because most Homa Browns that are by a person isn't actually a structure. So what else can it be?
Could it be?
I will say I was flying to Vegas. All of a sudden, and I was in Arizona, so it didn't actually count. But there was this brown part of a mountain that it looked like a house, and I remember thinking Homa Brown, and then I'm looking on the map and I'm like, damn it, we're in Arizona. That can't be, or Mexico. I don't know. We were not in the Rocky Mountains. I was very disappointed because I was like, it looked like a Homa Brown. It looked like a house that was brown. It was gorgeous. But yeah, so I mean, I think that's the most challenging to me is Homa Brown. What could it be?
Right.
What could it be? I mean, yes, we go to the brown trout. We go to animals. I mean, I've searched around beavers' dens, dams, excuse me. But I mean, what could it be? To me, I think that's definitely the most challenging. I think that's where people are screwing up.
I mean, if there's a sign and let's say it's Brown Campground, do you think that fits to where it's the name of a place?
Well, a sign is a structure.
But is the sign referencing the actual?
Well, let me give you an example where I think so. There was a specific spot in the Yellowstone area where they were arguing over buffalo and bison and whether they were going to slaughter them or not. And Judge Brown had to come in and in that spot make a determination if those animals were going to be slaughtered or not. I thought that was Homa Brown in a rabbit hole I was looking in, and it wasn't. But there's an example of it could be a person, but it was a physical location.
So we did get a super chat. I didn't miss it from Thor Girl, and she says, "Where's the reference? Where is the reference from about a 10th clue? You want to explain that, K-Pro? The 10th clue."
Sure.
She's got the book. There it is. Yeah.
There it is. And once upon a while. Oh, and I didn't get the revised book. I need that the next time I'm there.
Okay.
And so I think we have dubbed it. We searchers have dubbed it the 10th clue. In Once Upon a While, there is a reference from Douglas Preston. That he wrote a foreword to the Once Upon a While. He discusses in here that, let me see if I can find it because I will just read it because I do think it is that important. I might not be able to find, okay. The final clue, he said, okay, so he is referencing a conversation he had with Forrest. He said, the final clue, he said, would be where they found his car, in the parking lot of the Denver Museum of Nature and Science.
So, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, Forrest calls it the final clue. So because there's 9 clues in the poem, searchers call it the 10th clue. But Forrest said it would be the final clue, meaning where did he park his car before. And this is back when he was going to go die with the treasure chest. Of course, all that changed when he actually hit it. So.
But this is actually an exact quote that Douglas Preston made a couple years before, and the exact quote was identical. The final clue, he said, would be found in his car in the parking lot of Northern Arizona University parking. And so why does he have two different locations? I think this is the one thing we're all missing. We have not figured out why two different parking lots. Why is Douglas saying it? Why Forrest knew he was putting this in his book. This is Forrest's book. I think this is the one thing there's something significant about those parking lots. His daughter's father-in-law runs the Denver Museum of Natural Science, Nature and Science. Northern Arizona University, Sasha had found that there was a donation of one of the bronzes. He has a connection with both. I think there's something there that we haven't figured out that could give us some sort of a hint. I won't say clue, because I think there's still 9 clues. I don't think it's a physical location. There's something, there's a there. I don't know what it is. Drives me crazy.
So Jack says, so that's a hint. It's not a clue. The poem has 9 clues. All the rest are hints. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. But James Cruz had a interesting thought. He said, so if none of the 9 clues are man-made structures, that means the blaze is not man-made, correct?
Correct.
No, not necessarily. Okay? So think of a tree. A tree is not man-made. But somebody can etch something into it, and it's not a structure.
Yeah, that's true. Right.
So technically, I think it still could be man-made, just not necessarily a structure made by a man.
So would that mean it's not made out of brass? It's not made out of... It's not created. Whatever the blaze is, it's not created out of something. It's maybe carved into something else, whether stone or wood.
Or it's a natural thing.
Or a natural thing, like a petroglyph or something.
But it could be man-made. A structure is definitely man-made.
Right.
But something man-made doesn't have to be a structure.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so here's a quote. Some folks correctly mentioned the first 2 clues to me in an email, and then they went right past the other 7, not knowing they had been so close.
Yeah, I mean...
Again, that comes back to too far but not too far to walk, and Homer Brown being harder to solve than we maybe are anticipating.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now let's go back. William is saying, and he might be right, Forrest never said anything about man-made.
Exactly.
Is that true?
No, he said man-made structure.
He said structure.
No, he said man-made structure.
Well,
okay,
let me look it up.
Well, still, okay, so like structure, a man-made structure, and a man-made thing are 2 different things. I mean, a man can make something that's not a structure. Right?
Oh, wait, okay, so maybe it is structure. The treasure is not associated with any structure. He didn't say man-made, so I guess I was wrong. I thought he said man-made structure.
So it could be something man-made that's not a structure.
So he says, yes, that means the treasure is not hidden in or about a structure. Google structure for more information. That's what. And see, that I was wrong. I thought it was always man-made, but it's not.
Go to Google and put in structure, because he tells you to do that.
Right.
Okay, as you're doing that, we got a super chat. Thank you, Mads Kizzles. I'd like to search Dot's Beaver's Den.
And I don't know what that means. Do you?
I don't.
Is that a location?
I don't know. Tell us more, Matt Sizzles.
So structure is a noun, a building or other object constructed from several parts. To me, that makes the most sense. In other words, in the context, as he was saying, it's not in an outhouse. It's not in a... there was no need to dig up the old outhouses. The treasure is not associated with the structure.
And he also referenced cemeteries at one point, too.
Yeah. I said on the Today Show that the treasure is not associated with any structure. Some people say I have a desire to mislead. That is not true. There are no notes to be found or safety deposit boxes to be searched. The clues can lead you to the treasure, and it will be there waiting when you arrive. And then structure, to me, what makes the most sense, a building or other object constructed from several parts. So it's not a building. It's not,
Oh, boy.
need to ban that dude. I don't know what dude he's talking about to you guys.
Yeah,
Looks like Copper
can't-
Dan's moderating the chat.
Yeah, I'm getting lots of texts. It's just keep putting them in timeout, Copper Dan, and we can't ban until afterwards. So we should have banned before. I thought we were going to be kind and say, let's give everyone a second chance. Yeah, look what happens. You definitely.
Copper Dan, thank you for your service.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, so I totally want to know Shannon's philosophy on Scrapbook 107. You think there's a there?
Honestly,
what is he doing, right?
Honestly, I don't think it's anything. I mean, I don't think it's anything. I don't.
Do you think any of the scrapbooks are anything?
Yes, I do.
Which ones?
But not this one.
You want to go into detail or no?
There's
Get
been,
her a
there's
drink.
been there's been so many that have sent me down rabbit holes. Okay,
Right.
like let's talk about his bathroom one. That one sent me down the plumbing rabbit
The
hole.
skylight?
Hardcore. I mean,
Yeah.
not the. And actually, I didn't focus
Oh,
on the
no?
skylight.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking more just indoor plumbing and things like that.
Okay.
Let's see here, like the herb, the seasoning drawer.
Yeah, right.
That
yeah.
one has sent me down little rabbit holes. Let me tell you. Oh my god. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, a lot of them just make me think. I think the one, with, like the first one with Dig and Gypsy when she first went out to Montana, like it was snowy and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That one definitely got me thinking a lot. Like, why are they doing one on her? Why is she being focused on? You know?
Right.
Is she in the right area? I mean, I don't know. I kind of thought it was.
So
But no,
Tom,
that one, not so much.
Tom Sawyer says the $5 bill has Abraham Lincoln on it, and Montana was formed as a state by Abraham Lincoln. There it is. It's solved.
Well, and
There's
Rich
so
Hicker
many
said
things.
this one is one of the most important scrapbooks. Isn't it funny? Now, have you always thought in every scrapbook or every one of your saws, I don't know how many saws you've had, that like the spice scrapbook was important?
No.
Nah.
Honestly, like the spice one did not really correlate to any of my saws that I've had. But, you know, I just think it's hilarious. Like, I love it when a scrapbook comes out and then people automatically assume it's about them.
Right.
That's what I love the most.
Right.
And, I mean, and honestly, there's a couple searchers where, like, they tell me stuff and they're like, and the next thing you know, scrapbook comes out and they're like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, wow, that is like a really strange, freaky coincidence. And the question is like when a searcher emails Forrest, does what that searcher tells him just joggle his memory to inspire a scrapbook? Or is it that he's putting it out there to let that searcher know that they're on the right path? You know?
Okay, well, to that point, so the last scrapbook that came out was about huckleberries and strawberries and bears and all that.
Yeah.
And Joel has now said it. Joel said to me, he called me and he was like, talking about me, I'm going with my family.
Yeah.
And
then
he called me too.
specific
Yep.
reference. Yep. And then Cynthia was like, I just told him that I was in Strawberry Patch Creek yesterday. This is about me. And then I had another searcher that I won't name that said, this one's about me. And it was something just as compelling, like something that's unique, not just something generic. So here's my rule of thumb. Unless they spell your name correctly and you have a very unique name.
Yeah, right. Oh, like Christy? Yeah, that one was directed at you. I'll give you that. Thor Girl with another super chat. Thank you, Thor Girl.
Thor Girl.
Rick Plank wanted to know, for those of us that have been to Forrest Fenn's house, did you ever see a map? Was there any maps that you saw at Forrest's house? I didn't see any. Because he's thinking if the one good map is one that Forrest has at his house.
Yeah, I picked up 3,000 of them. They're over on the...
Yeah, that's right. They're still for sale. Everybody wants one. Yeah, I didn't think about that one.
You know what
yeah.
I want to know? I want to know what map Illinois' Ghost has. And I
Oh,
think I
what he
saw
says
him
he
in
found?
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to know what his map is. I want to know that map. I'm not lying. I want to know what map you keep
Now,
saying is the magic
here's
map.
something funny. I think we could do a GoFundMe, and if there was enough put in it, that he would share it. What if we said there's a 5,000?
Yes.
I don't think he would share it. I don't think he would ever share it.
Illinois Ghost. Would you do that? Would you do that?
Like if we put in, let's say it was a $5,000 GoFundMe, we all put in $10, and we could all see that map. Because I think it's that good, but
Yeah.
I don't think any one person would pay that much. But we could like crowdsource it.
I mean, is he still in the room?
I don't know.
believe. I think he was here earlier. I think I saw his name.
Yeah.
Illinois
he
Ghost,
probably-
are you still here? Are you up for that?
He disappeared like a ghost.
Or what if what if the community could buy him his next vehicle to travel to New Mexico?
Wouldn't that be something?
What if we could raise that much money? I mean,
well, let's go right into.
Would that be worth it?
Boots on the ground or bust? Then you want to explain how that works, K-Pro?
Oh, okay. So yeah, because we're at about that time.
Yeah.
So during the marathon, we have decided there's so many searchers that reach out to us that says, "Can you do a fundraiser for us? Can you do something for us?"
Right.
And we're kind of out of that game. But here's what we're going to do: during the marathon, you get 15 minutes, 10 minutes to tell your story, whatever it is, and 5 minutes of Q&A. And Mike and I are going to have a standard set of questions. You do not have to give up your solve. You can do.
Yeah, right.
But
You don't have to answer anything you don't want to.
How long have you been in the search? Those sorts of things. We're going to ask some generic questions. If you are, and then we're going to put a poll up on Thor with everyone that was on the Boots on the Ground or Bust panel, and we are going to auction off a coin, and whatever the proceeds are, less fees, you get that money.
And the coin is number 33, correct?
Number 33. And several people said, "Can we buy 33 from? I want 33." Yes, you can. It's on eBay in about a week.
It's going on eBay Saturday because we want the eBay auction to end next Saturday live while we're on the marathon. Yeah. Whatever, if that coin goes for $100, if it goes for $1,000, I don't care how much it goes for. We're going to take out 10% because eBay, you have to pay eBay 10%. But whatever searcher that comes on the marathon to plead their case, so to speak, whoever gets the most votes on Thor, they're going to get that money. So hopefully next year they can go on a Boots on the Ground.
So here's the thing right now. You know how many people are on the Boots on the Ground or Bust panel?
How many? 3? That's it?
3.
Come on,
so
Shannon.
if you are interested,
next Saturday, a week from this Saturday. No,
as long as it's before 4:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Talk to K-Pro. Anybody that wants to come on, talk to K-Pro.
This is the problem. Like, my husband comes home at 4:30,
gotcha.
and I can't talk about Forrest Fenn around him. I can't do these kind of things when he's around.
Well, we're starting at 2 p.m. your time, Eastern time, right? Okay. We're starting at 2 p.m. Eastern.
Well, then I can give you to 4:30.
Yeah.
Then I can be out.
But you've got to come on the you've got to come on the marathon and plead your case, so to speak, or just let everybody know who you are. You don't have to give your real name. You don't have to give up your location. None of that. People just, and that way, the only way people are going to be able to vote is if they've seen you on the marathon. So if we only have 3, that's pretty good odds for somebody.
Hey, Doug. Doug was asking, who does he think has number 3? I don't know.
Coin number 3.
Who has number 3? I don't know.
You might see that coin as a prize somewhere in the future. You never know. You never know. Yeah, it's up to K-Pro. Thor Girl has another super chat. She says, "What's the wolf on page 172 to 175 of Once Upon a While mean?" I didn't know there was a wolf on page 172 to 175.
Please hold. It's a super chat, so I must focus.
Right.
172.
Wayne Ross, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what video that was. It might have been Illinois Ghost. I'm not sure.
159, 162, 165. Okay, I can count 170. What?
172 to 175. Oh, there we go. And she was wondering, what does it mean? So I don't know what the story is, if you could kind of...
Oh, and then
so he's showing a wolf. Now that's a bronze, right?
Right, but that it's like the same... See, watch.
Yeah, I gotcha. Looks the same.
Yeah.
We'd have to read that story.
Maybe that's the bust. The Price of Freedom. It's about a sculptor. Alex LaFontaine.
Yeah, I don't know. We'd have to read the story. Maybe she doesn't have the book.
Yeah. Casting arts bronze was a dangerous business for me because I had to teach myself how to do it. I mean, he talks about it. Yeah.
People texting me left and right while we're live.
I know. I'm not. There's been a couple that. Oh my goodness! Is it a full moon tonight? How many people have been?
A lot of timeouts happening tonight. So thanks to Copper Dan. And again, anybody who wants to come on the marathon for the Boots on the Ground or Bust, it doesn't have to be your first Boots on the Ground. You could be somebody that's had 100 searches. You know what I mean? We're leaving it open. So.
Well, okay, so that's one of the ways that we're getting search coins out to you guys. The second one is any panel. If you want to be a part of any panel, we have standalone. AGK
on the
is
marathon.
On the marathon. AGK is going to be a part of a panel. We have several people, but there's only about 10 right now. We have a couple more spots, but also if you want to be a part of a generic panel, like there's a women's panel that's going to be happening. If you want to be a part of the women's panel or new searcher panel, there's a bunch of different panels. Come on and you, at the end of the marathon, we're going to put all those names in a hat, and one of our panelists is going to get
a numbered coin.
Numbered searcher coin.
So
Then the third way, go ahead, Michael.
No, I was just going to say, so anybody, and those, does that include the boots on the ground or bust people? It does not, except for those. Okay. So if you come on the marathon, just to talk about whatever you want to talk about, there'll be a drawing at the end. And we're going to do all these live, except we're going to have to do the voting on Thor is going to have to be a week later because people have to have time to watch it and then vote, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right. And then the last one is we're going to be doing a Chase-opoly. We're actually going to unveil the full prototype. And if you come in and Shannon's giving it away a little bit.
You can show it if you want.
We are going to be doing a whole little discussion at that time. If you come in and just chat anything during that chat, you are also entered in a drawing that we will hopefully do by the end of the day. I'm going to try to keep up with chat and get everybody's name in the little hat kind of thing. And so that is a third way. And I just did here, we did give one of the 29 searcher coins to AGK for them to use for their searchers.
Oh, that's right.
And he has decided he's going to bring it on when he comes on. So
on the marathon, Toby will be on the marathon.
So there's going to be four coins are going to be given away that day or associated with that. And then the only other one that we have going on is the 3K challenge. So if by Monday we hit 3K because you are going and posting somewhere, subscribe, and you put a quote or you put a link to your favorite video. And some people actually use the Santa Fe video as their favorite video because they're like, oh, that's where you and Mike met. And I thought that was cute. And send me a quick email that says where it is. We only have about 10 entries right now. But we got to make it to 3,000 by Monday or it is not going to be so. So there we have it. When is that? Wildcatter's Daughter, I think you're talking about the marathon. That's going to be the 28th of September, which is a Saturday. Treasure hunting time is how I will say it, which is Santa Fe time, which is noon to midnight. So Mike's time it's 11, my time it's 3, and all the times, if you're in Japan, you got to calculate it.
Your time is 2. Did you say 11 a.m. my time?
Yeah, I totally
That's
said
2 o'clock Eastern, yeah.
Totally said 2.
So maybe Shannon can come on. We'll see.
That would be awesome.
All right.
So, do you have to be a woman to be on the women's panel? No, you just have to dress up. It has to be an awesome.
Do you have to be a woman to be on the women's panel? Okay.
You just have to look like one.
Right.
Act like one. You know.
Why do we have this issue in poker about the women's tournaments, and there's always some guy that dresses up as a woman.
Yeah, that's true, and they let them play because they say they can't keep them from playing.
Yeah.
All right,
please have a finders panel, Craig Carter says. Oh, of course. Well, we could have a 200-footer panel, and we've talked about that. But Mike and I think you can only get 20 people at one time, and I think that would be hundreds and hundreds of people.
Now, it's more than 20, but yeah, it would be interesting to see what's the max for Zoom for people to join in. And then the World Series of Fenn, if you could somehow make it back, is going to be February 15th this year, Saturday, February 15th. And you never know, I just might talk K-Pro into putting that coin number 3 up as a prize. You never know. We'll see. Because there's going to be a poker tournament. We're definitely going to have a Chase-opoly tournament, and then we might come up with a couple other things that are fun.
They want a panel where everybody dresses up like cows, kind of like AJ.
AJ, that's right. That'd be pretty fun.
Don't know, AJ came to the World Series of Fenn. He was this really kind of quiet guy that was kind of off to the side during all the events until the poker game. He full onesie. He had
cow costume.
It was a cow costume, and it had the udders and everything. And security came. He almost got taken away in handcuffs.
Yeah.
This is my precious. Number 3, just in case. I know where. So it is the husband. It needs the wife. I know where the wife is, and I'm just saying, if anybody wants to bring that, I do a little side bet. I'll bring mine, Copper Dan, if you bring yours, and maybe for World Series of Fenn, we have a little side bet.
Oh, that would be a last longer bet. I could see it.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. They can play Leaf. Oh my gosh, okay, you guys.
If Dan still has coin number 3, I wonder if he did something with it.
No, I think he has it.
Okay.
Okay, so marathon is a week from Saturday. Right. So there, we will start at noon and go until midnight. There's lots of different things that are happening. If you have an idea, also send that. I think it was Holly last week said, what about understanding how the bronze process works? So I'm reaching out to a couple of the searchers that know the bronze process. I'm going to see if we can get that. If you just have an idea that you want to hear from someone else, just let us know. We need a Fenn couples panel. Oh.
A Fenn couple panel. All right. You never know what may show up on the marathon.
I think it would be interesting, the ones that are couples, but there's a lot of couples out there that I think usually it's one searcher or the other is more into it, and the other one either tolerates it or hates it. So, which one do you think between you and I, Mike? Am I more into it or are you?
That's a good question, actually. Yeah, probably K-Pro.
That's this way.
Probably K-Pro. I'm into it, but
I think treasure hunts in general. You're more into the Forrest Fenn hunt, like. We were negotiating some time, like just like every couple does. There's like together time and then there's separate time.
Right.
And like, what separate time do you need? I'm like AGK, like like AGK, like time with my kids and AGK. He's like AGK, really? I'm like, yeah.
See, I feel like you live, breathe, eat, sleep this stuff, K-Pro.
That's true.
Like I like like you randomly post like things on on Facebook groups. And it's like, man, she thinks about this 24/7. Like does. She really does. So, yeah.
Super chat from Reed Tileman. How you doing, Reed? That's a new name. Have you heard of Nick Gurr? He's close. I have not heard of Nick Gurr. I'm assuming that's a searcher, but no, I haven't heard of him at all.
And how can you say that he's close?
I know.
Okay, so this is
because
the
he
thing.
Says so. Apparently,
I mean, nobody knows that they're close until they have the chest. That's the problem with this.
Right.
There is no confirmation along the way. So anybody can think that they're close, but until they have the chest in their hands, we don't know.
I take exception because he's super chatted. He knows.
Yeah, right. No, where's Nick? Like, if you said, have you heard of him? Does he post somewhere? Does he have a YouTube channel? I've never heard of Nick Gurr.
I know there's a Nick, but Nick is somebody else in the chat. He just let me know who he was, and I was like, he's told me now twice, but.
Wildcatter's daughter says, K-Pro dressed like Forrest. What if we had a Forrest Fenn dress up for the World Series of Fenn? I'll go get a turquoise belt buckle and a cowboy hat. That'd be awesome. That would be a good idea.
A purple sweater.
Yeah, that'd be pretty funny.
No, I have a blue Wrangler shirt that was my dad's from like the 70s.
There you go.
And it's so Forrest Fenny.
Some cowboy boots.
So funny. Oh my God. Like, yes.
That would actually be pretty funny.
I would do this because the one thing that we had almost convinced Forrest to give us, what's the hat's name?
Mildred. Mildred or mildew?
Mildew. No, it was
mildew. Oh, okay.
We had convinced him for the Jamie drawing that we were going to use mildew for the actual Jamie drawing, and but we got too many tickets, so it got bigger than that. Ooh, I might be able to. What if I came with mildew on? I was like, "What's up, guys?"
Forrest isn't going to give up his hat.
No, for a weekend.
Oh, you have to give it back. Oh, okay. I thought you meant like give it as a prize or something.
Yeah, he knows where I live. No,
that would be huge. It'd be awesome if he did, but I don't think he's going to.
Yeah, no. Okay. No, I didn't mean that. So, cowboy hats. Oh, and
birthday suits.
And everybody put their bracelet on, the one that looks like the one in the chest.
I'm wearing a backpack. I'm going to be Forrest when he hid the thing. So, yeah, that actually is a good idea. We'll have to think about that one.
I think we need to have a couple of those kind of just fun things, and that's where some coins and stuff will go.
Yeah, a contest. The best, costume contest, yeah.
We could just do a photo contest. Like, just have people send it in. I think
that would be a way for everybody to participate. Yeah. Send in your best costume.
And then people could really stage it and stuff. I mean, they could have a blast with that one.
Right, okay. Or best picture with Chase-opoly once people get it in the mail. The best place to play Chase-opoly. Something like that. There's so many ideas.
That's a good idea. Okay, so we're going to get through these. Some people have said if they're not interested in coming on the marathon, they're shy. They don't want to come from behind the camera, etc. Is there others coming up? Oh, we have so many in store. We have this huge laundry list, and we're just going to go through them for the rest of the year. And we're going to try to make the down. This is the down for those of you. Then this is what we call the crappy part, where people are now going, since I didn't find it, this is a hoax. Forrest is a shyster. I mean, look how many timeouts we had just today. So this is the grumpy part of the season. So this is where we're going to kick up the fun and get some stuff out to you guys, do a marathon, have a good time. Michael, I can see.
Okay, Halloween is on a Thursday this year. So, we definitely got to have a costume contest live somehow. You know what I mean? We got to dress up for the show on Halloween night. If I'm not down on Fremont Street.
I was, well, or with your children. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I
I
have kids
know,
that
I know.
I'm on like the last.
If I
year.
have them, well, then that's different. But if I don't, if they're with their mother,
Thursday.
then
Well,
yeah.
for my kiddo, well, and I do it early enough, I'll be able to get there and get back. My son is like, this is the year. This is where he's transitioned from cute, let's just go door to door to, okay, I'm going to calculate this out to make sure I get the most candy ever.
Yeah.
And we've gone from like, we used to be on a couple acres to now we're like on, I call them the cookie cutters, back-to-back houses, like a track. He's already like calculated, I can make it this far and I can.
That's funny.
I'm all about it. So yeah, we're going to have some fun there. Okay, so other things. So questions for Shannon, you guys. This is like
Yeah, let me show your YouTube channel in case for anybody who's new that doesn't know.
Greatest one ever. It's my favorite.
You're totally my biggest fan, K-Pro. Thank you. I love you so much.
Here is the Odious Soul on YouTube. That is Shannon's channel. Uh-oh. This happened last time.
Yeah, there was a freeze up. There was a freeze up for about 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's my internet, and I'm not sure why. I'm going to have to check on that. It will come back,
You gotta
though.
pay the bills, Mike. You know,
Yeah,
can't play
I know.
poker
What
all
the
the
heck?
time.
I might have to get the Giga Blast from Cox. Yeah, I don't know. Although I know the kids are on, but that shouldn't be that big of a deal. So, but here's the Odious Soul. This is Shannon's YouTube channel. So you guys go subscribe with that button right there, as I am, with that bell checked right there. And you're going to make more videos, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm going to make more videos.
Okay.
I think the wintertime, like, because right now we've had engagement parties and like my husband's grandmother just turned like 89. Like there's just been a lot of family stuff recently.
Right.
You know, at first it was the wedding and I just didn't have time to do the Forrest Fenn videos because I was planning my wedding and it was amazing and awesome. You know, and now it's like between work and family stuff, it's just been like, oh my God, like where has the summer gone? So.
Right.
But no.
In wintertime, things slow down a little.
My book, a video game nerd husband, and I wanted a princess, you know, formal wedding, so it was like I had to be creative. I think I pulled it off. Did very well.
You
That's
did.
cool.
You sure did.
So we did go offline for a minute, but then we'll be back. I'm gonna have to check my internet out and find out what the issue is, because that's twice now it's done it.
Yeah, but you have two boys streaming where you
That
usually don't
shouldn't-
have two boys streaming.
That shouldn't matter. So yeah, I don't know. Cow down, somebody said.
Okay, well, we're over an hour anyway, so thank you. And we are going to one day we're going to meet Shannon.
Yes,
it's
we
gonna happen.
are. I'm gonna tackle you. Just be prepared.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna see you and I'm gonna run and I'm just gonna jump on you. And...
Have you seen, my daughter was just watching Freaky Friday. Have you ever seen that?
Yes.
Where the mom and the daughter like poof. That's totally going to be us. Yeah. Okay, so there you have it. So yes, Shannon rocks. This is, I want to see her boots on the ground video. Oh no, that'll be for the marathon. There's some stuff happening. I will say there's potentially a big guest coming on that would want something from you guys, and we're going to make it worth your while. But I still got to work that.
You want something from me, or am I going to know what this is all about?
I'll tell you a little bit.
Okay.
I've been on an hour before and you were running late, so I didn't get to. But I've kind of already nominated some stuff of ours, and it's going to be. If we can get it all to work out, it's going to be awesome. And if it happens, you guys, this will be the marathon you'll never want to miss. I cannot confirm until Wednesday, but if it happens,
cool.
It's going to be epically huge.
All right. Well, that's Saturday. A week, not this Saturday. A week from the Saturday. Saturday, September 28th.
And your surprises are always awesome, so I can't wait to see who, what, yeah.
I will tell you, if it happens, there is no downplaying it. It's just big. That's it. I'll say, oh, it's huge, and then it's like something funny, like, oh, I got glasses.
Yeah, right.
No, if I say this one's big, this one big, big. I hope it happens.
So can we announce it once you know, or no?
I will announce it because I will have
the agenda.
Yes, I will have but I have to have it in my hot little hands because if something changes, you know how stuff changes, you know how things happen.
Right.
No, I'm not teasing it, or I can tease it, but I'm not saying that it's so. And that actually, we should have that during Chase-All because that will blow the numbers out of the water. So anyway,
okay.
There you have it.
All right, you guys know I'm going to play the Chase-Opoly outro, right? I don't even know if Shannon's heard the song, so.
Oh my gosh, it's so cute. Okay.
All right. Anything you want to say before we go to everybody?
No, it's okay. But yeah, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please hop over to the Odious Soul and subscribe. I still can't believe I'm at 1,600 people. It like blows my mind. Like seriously.
And they're
like,
all waiting for a new video.
I know they are. Like I'm looking at this and I'm like, yes, more videos will come. I promise. Just give me time. I'm sorry.
Go back to your room tonight and just make a video. Just upload it on your channel.
I could.
Maybe, yeah.
But I plan on drinking tonight.
Oh,
so
I
the
gotcha.
first one I can actually drink in Vegas.
Ah,
so
gotcha.
I'm
You
like,
know what? You know what? You should drink and you should talk about your time in the command center.
I could. I
Nice.
could talk about how awesome it was. Actually, I'm thinking about just going back over to Ichabod's over here.
Yeah, right. The Ichabod.
I
Yeah.
got a shot of Patron for like $7 while I was waiting for
Right.
Mike. I'm like, I don't want to go back to the strip. I want to stay here.
Right.
And I think they're 24 hours. We spent like 4 a.m. there after like out and
Oh
about.
my gosh, yeah, I was
I
like,
do. I remember your interview video where it was like third glass of wine. I'm like, oh, she's gonna give up big stuff soon. I remember that one. So have a few. And
have a few and then do a video and yeah.
Uh-huh.
The more you can tell when I drink because my face gets red, my neck's all red. Like yeah, like it's easy to spot when I've been drinking. So.
yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, we will see you. I don't know about Thursday. Should we wait? Today is what? Today's Thursday. We'll be
Thursday.
back Monday. I meant Thursday of next week. Should we skip Thursday because of the marathon? But we'll figure that out. We will be back on Monday. Right?
Yes.
Right. Okay. All right, everybody. Hit subscribe. Hit thumbs up for the Odious Soul being here at the command center.
Yes.
And here is the Chase-opoly song, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. All right, check it out.
At the kitchen table by the pepper and the salt, you can begin your adventure where the warm water's hot.
Now, who does
No
your
harsh
songs
sun, no rain
There's a
that
guy.
pours.
I can show you.
Do your Forrest Fenn search indoors. It's safer
didn't know there
and
was
it
like a
goes
friend
much
here.
faster. It's more fun than playing canasta if you're wise and you find the blaze. You can play several times in just one day. Chase-opoly, the thrill of the chase. Take your journey without ever leaving your place. It's fun for the young, it's fun for the old. Get your title to the gold when your real search for the treasure needs a break. Play Chase-opoly, the thrill of the chase.